did finish everything. I finished everything in time, which was great. I am glad I did do all of this work for pearls. I have to be honest, this one has been my companion the whole week. I cast this on just to get a break from everything, to feel a bit reckless and do something just for me, just for fun. Here is the beginning of my color work. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Line and I'm a knitter from Norway, and welcome to my knitting podcast. Here I talk about all things knitting, my current projects, finished projects, planned projects. Sometimes I talk about yarn, just anything that pops into my head while we sit here and chat. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me this week. I just have to give a bit of a warning though. I might have to put in more like cuts and edits into this video because I am struggling a bit with a cough this week. I've been sick for almost the whole last week. I'm finally getting better, but I'm still struggling with my cough, so there might be some unnatural jumps here and there throughout the video because I've coughed, but just a warning. But yeah, it's been a really exciting last week since the last time I sat down to chat with you. I think the last time I sat down to chat with you was last Thursday. I did 1 week early last week, and I did 1 day early last week, and I'm doing 1 day late this week. 1 day early last week to have the time, and then 1 day late this week to get healthy enough to be able to actually sit and chat for this long period of time. So we have a lot to catch up on. First up, I did get married. It was great. We had the best day. It was at the exact same time as the last podcast came out, so it was really fun to be able to film that episode with everything I knit for my wedding and have that come out the day of my wedding. So that was really fun. I feel like I've been babbling on about that wedding and the whole project for the last year now, so I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but it was a really huge thing that happened since the last time I spoke to you guys, since the last time I sat down, so I did want to mention it. And I'll also probably put in a picture here just because I'm really happy with the pictures we've gotten so far. I am planning on making a whole video of the whole process of making my wedding dress, but it's going to take quite some time because that process of knitting it took me a year, so I have a lot of videos. I had also planned on being able to start a bit sooner, but this week I've just been wiped out, done nothing. So I don't know when I'll be able to put that video out, but I am planning to do that. But yeah, that's the last week. It's been really exciting because of that, but I think once the wedding was actually done, I think all of the stress of knitting that wedding dress finally caught up with me. It's a year of stressing about all of the decisions, a year of late nights, a year of missed sleep. So it really caught up with me and just wiped me out for this whole week. So this week has really not been my best in terms of knitting, but I did get in a bit of knitting from Thursday until the end of Saturday, and then I was fine Sunday, Monday before I got really bad, and then I've been able to knit a bit yesterday and today. So I have some things to show. But I thought that first I'd just show the wedding dress because I did do a little bit on it after we spoke. I don't know what I had left after we spoke. I also finished the cardigans. I think I had left to weave in ends and all of that. So I did finish everything. I finished everything in time, which was great. I finished the cardigan quite early, did get to wash those. I finished everything. My friend came and helped me weave in some ends, but the last thing I did, which was quite stressful because I sat up doing this till like 11 p.m. the night before, but I sewed in many more pearls of different sizes and throughout the whole dress. I don't know how well you can see this, but there are pearls scattered all throughout now. I did not do any here because I was tired of doing pearls. It was late, I was so over it, and it wasn't really necessary, and in the end it really turned out it wasn't necessary, but I am glad I did do all of this work for pearls on the dress. It was hid by the mohair skirt when this was on, but I didn't wear the mohair skirt the whole time. I wore the mohair skirt for the ceremony and the dinner, but not after that. Also, the mohair skirt kept freezing and getting stuck to the snow and the ice, so that's really beat up at the ends here. So I'll have to go in and like cut off that here. It hasn't pulled any of the stitches, it's just the mohair getting pulled, but I don't know what it is, but the mohair, if I just stood still for a second, it would freeze completely all the way around me. All of this mohair would freeze to the ground, so I'd have to kick myself loose all of the time because I couldn't stand still for even a second without it happening. But as I said, I'm not going to keep rambling on about that because I am planning to make a video, and I've also been rambling on about it so much previously, so I thought I'd actually get into this week's knitting. But before I do that, I do want to remember this week to speak about what I'm wearing, and today I am wearing my Dagmar jacket. This was my knit. I knit this in, when did I finish it? I think in October, maybe November of last year. I can't quite remember. I'm pretty sure I started it in October. I started it in the middle of October, so it was probably finished in November, I guess. But yeah, this is my Dagmar. I knit the size large to try to make the sleeves oversized. Didn't really work out for me. And I knit this in Drops Nepal in the color medium grey, which I think is a really lovely color, and I think Drops Nepal also is a really lovely yarn that I've used a lot and never had any problems with. But unfortunately I finished this right around the time I still was washing knits in my washing machine and hadn't realized that our washing machine was killing my knits. So this was the second kind of lost sweater of mine. I have one sweater and then this jacket that the washing machine really got to, and this was what made me decide to just stay away from the washing machine. Now the washing machine is just for superwash knits. I don't know what happened to our washing machine because I've never had any issues before, but I'm not going to risk it, especially since the two things I kind of lost. They're not lost, I can still use them, but when you've used a month or more on making something, you don't want it to felt even the slightest, so not risking it. And especially since this are heavily structured, something happening all of the time. Since this was one of the victims, and then the other victim was my zipper sweater light, which is also a more involved sweater than just a stockinette sweater. So since it happened to those two especially, which hit me a bit harder than it would if it was just something really basic, I've just decided that I'm staying away. I don't want to risk it anymore. It's not worth it. And I also find that I can quite get behind hand washing. I think it's quite meditative. It's a nice way to like tie the whole project together and really end it off on a good note. So I'm really happy with that switch. And in the end, this hasn't like it's not ruined. It's really cozy because of it. I think it's even warmer. It does pill more. I have a bit of a theory that maybe halfway felted clothes pill more, because this pills more than I'm used to Nepal pilling, and then my zipper sweater light in Daisy also pills more. I don't have another sweater in Daisy to compare it to, but my son has a sweater in Daisy that's not felted, and his has pilled, but way less than mine, so I don't know if there is something to do with them being halfway felted that just makes them pill way more. It would be fun if there was a way to like figure that out, test that hypothesis, but yeah, I think that's enough for what I'm wearing. But just one more look, because I am really proud of her, even if I managed to almost felt it completely. And then we can move into what I've actually been working on this week. And as I said, I haven't been able to do too much because I've been really under the weather, but I had a few goals this week and I've gotten to some of them. And one of the really big ones was to finish this sheep. I don't know if you know, but we've this whole household has been hit by a sheep obsession. We love knitted sheep. It all started with my son. The only thing he wanted me to knit was to knit him sheep. Every time he saw me with needles in my hands, which is all of the time, he would ask me to knit him a sheep. So finally I decided to do it. I got a lot of help to find patterns, and I started making one lamb pattern by Claire Garland, and then I moved to making these sheeps by Rauma Garn, and I've only made one of these big ones, but I've also made two of the small ones, and then this is like the final piece. So now he has his whole little sheep family. We have one lamb and then two kind of bigger sheep, and then this huge mother. But I started this whole project, I think, kind of late in January, so I didn't have the best time to do it, but because I was also trying to finish everything up for the wedding, so at one point I just had to kind of leave this sheep unfinished. I only had 3 feet left, but when you look at this whole thing, you would think that these small legs down here, you should be able to just whip them out, at least compared to the body, but nothing has taken me longer than making these. They take so long, each of them, so it just had to wait. But finally this week I was ready to pick back up, and I've knit all 3, and my sister has also visited and woven in all of the ends, because my son would not accept this as finished before the ends were weaved in. So here it is, all done. The medium-sized ones are still not all done because I have not woven in ends on them, but this one is. And this sheep is also knit in Drops Nepal, the same yarn as my jacket. I think the yarn the pattern calls for is Rauma Vams, if I didn't say what the pattern is called. This I think is called Bærit Stor sau, eller Stort Lam. And then the pattern for the smaller ones I think is called Bærling Lite Lam. And they both call for Rauma Vams, and you had to buy yarn to be able to get the pattern. So I did buy 4 skeins, because that's what you needed to buy to get the patterns of the Vams to make the small sheep, and also to get the patterns. And then I got Nepal instead for this one, because Nepal is less than half the price of the Vams, so it was a much better price for me, especially when you're making something so large. It's also way softer, and this is so great as a pillow. Even though I've not been able to knit much this week, I've been using a lot of knitwear, and I have to be honest, this one has been my companion the whole week. I've been snuggling up and using her so much as a pillow the whole week, and it's so comfortable. I don't know why, but it's just perfect, and you can like rest in the crook of the neck or whatever, and it's amazing. My son's a bit mad because I'm using this so much, but I love her. But I think I want to say with certainty that this is the end of the sheeps, at least making them. We have 4 now, and that should be enough. I hope that's enough. I might make more sheep for gifts, because especially the small lamps were really easy to make and they're cute. Not the Claire garland one, that was not really simple, but the small version of this, that was a quite simple pattern and quick to do, so I think that might be a great gift. But I don't think we need more sheep now, so hopefully my son agrees. He's already moved on to asking for a different stuffed animal though. Now he really wants bees and wasps. Yeah, so now I'll have to figure out how to do that, but at least I'm done with this sheep. Felt really great to finally be able to get rid of some of my old whips as well. I have so many whips to return to now that the whole wedding project is done. I had so many whips that just had to go on the back burner. I have whips from way back in like November that just have abandoned, but finally things are calming down and I can go back to them, so I'm really excited in the next couple of weeks to get to a point where my old whips are finished and I can feel more free to cast on whatever I want to. Not that that has been a problem this week. I've actually cast on a surprising amount of projects, and we can head into those now. I'm not going to talk about my old whips because other than the sheep I haven't touched them yet, but hopefully next week I'll actually get back to them. But this week I have cast on new projects, and the first thing I cast on this week was this. I don't know if you can tell what it is. I'm just going to try to not drop any stitches. I don't know if you can tell what this is. I've gotten quite far actually, but this is the sweater number 14 by Myfavouritethings.knitwear. It's really tempting to say sweater number 14 v-neck, but this is not the v-neck. As you can see, this is the crew neck. I'm really excited to knit this. It's been really fun so far. I've been really unsure about the color, but I think I like it, and it's really soft. It's going to be amazing to snuggle up in, and with that neck as well. I'm really excited, and it's been lovely to knit up. It knits up really quickly, the yarn glides well, but I don't know, what do you guys think about the color? Part of me thinks it's a bit too like messy, too in your face, that the color difference is a bit too in your face and that it kind of screams a bit. But then I also think that it's kind of muted because it's like charcoal grey, and I think the lighter color is called like greige, like beige grey. So it's like kind of similar colors, so I don't know. I can't really decide, but that was the first thing I cast on. I cast this on Friday because I was exhausted. I'd gotten to a point with everything. This was earlier Friday. I think it was like midday Friday, where I had a point where I hated everything. I hated the wedding dress. I think I hated everything except the bouquet at that point. Everything I'd knit, I thought it looked hideous. I could not get to a point with the wedding dress where I was happy with it, and I just knew I had hours and hours and hours ahead of me with sewing on pearls, and I was so unmotivated. I'd been at it already for hours that day, and I said, you know what, I'm just not going to be responsible anymore and do everything in the right order. I can't stand it anymore. I'm going crazy. So I cast this on just to get a break from everything, to feel a bit reckless and do something just for me, just for fun, for a little bit, to just refresh my mind. And I'm so happy with that decision. I think sometimes the best thing you can do is to just step away. And yeah, I cast this on back here. I think I did all of the German short rows before I put it down again, and then went back to sewing pearls and doing everything that I should. But it was really nice. I'm really happy I did that, even though it like wasn't the right choice, because I should have focused on it. But at that point I just couldn't say anything positive about anything, so it really wasn't any point in me working on the wedding dress because I couldn't think straight. So I'm really glad that I had kind of planned for that to maybe happen. So I was prepared and had already thought, if that happens, this is the perfect project to cast on, because it is really simple. The back is the exact same really to the v-neck version, and it's just mindless stockinette on chunky needles. So it was the perfect just break from thinking for me, so that was amazing. And I also thought that it would be a great project for after the wedding if I just wanted something mindless. So I'm really glad that this has been on my needles, and this is also what I worked on mostly this week because I was sick, and the mindless project was perfect. I am almost finished now with the front yoke as well, so I'll be able to join in the round, which I'm really excited for. Really excited to try this on for the first time and do the neck. So yeah, that's my sweater number 14, and I'm using Drops Puna in this. This is called Charcoal Grey, and then this is the Baby Merino, Drops Baby Merino, and I'm not sure if this is called Grey Beige, if it's called Greige. As I said, I'm not quite sure what it's called. I know it's something with grey and beige in the name, but I'm a bit unsure about the mix of those names, how they're put together. But these two together, they make a really nice fabric, in my experience, for the sweater number 14 and my previous sweater number 14, the v-neck version, in these two yarns as well, just different colors. I've had that now for I think at least 2 years. I can't quite remember when I made it. I think it's 2 years, and it's my most used sweater. I've used it a crazy amount, and it has 0 pills, has never had any, never been an issue. So I don't know if it's just a fluke with that one sweater that's just crazy, if it's the color, if it's the yarns, but I'm going to test it out now with these darker colors. But same yarn, same gauge, kind of same sweater, just a minor neckline difference. And I'm really excited to see how this will hold up as well, because I anticipate that this will be a sweater I'll use loads. It just seems so cozy already. But this was the first thing I cast on this week, just to get my sanity back. And then I did decide on what to cast on for my wedding cast on. I do a Christmas cast on. I do like cast on for special occasions. I think that's really fun, a way to incorporate memories into my knitting. I love doing that. I love being able to look at this sweater and I know that I cast this on when I was visiting my friend, and then we went to a knitting market together the day after I'd cast this on, and I know that the first snowfall of the year was when I was knitting on this, and there's so many memories I can go back and like pinpoint throughout my sweaters, and I just really like to be able to weave my life and memories into all of my sweaters, because I can look at them and go back and remember through them. So I really wanted to be able to do that with a wedding cast on as well, and since it was going to be my wedding cast on, one of the most special moments, I really wanted it to be a special sweater as well, just not a simple stockinette sweater that's going to like get lost in the sea of all the other stockinette sweaters. I wanted it to be really special, so that's why I went with the Celeste sweater. Here it is. I've been able to work a bit on this. The Celeste sweater was a bit of a bold choice, I felt, to choose for my wedding cast on, but I did realize as I was planning what to knit on that I'm not going to be able to knit that much that day, and this neck ribbing is long. It's on 3mm needles, and I'm just not going to be able to get through all of that, plus get started on the color work that day. So I really didn't have anything to worry about, because one by one ribbing I can do wherever, whenever. So I decided to do this. I cast on that morning. I knit on this. It's also Italian cast on. Here I think I had to cast on twice, and I don't know why. I find it really hard to count Italian cast on. I have to count while I cast on, and if I lose it, it's just lost. It's really hard to count your already cast on stitches with Italian cast on. So I thought I had the right number. I even thought like I counted them the first row I knitted through them, but when I got to the color work, I realized that I had 4 stitches too many, I think. So it was just wonky all around, so I had to frog back a couple of rows, and I had to figure out if I wanted to do this whole thing again. Which I really didn't want to, because this was the thing that I actually knit on during the wedding, so all of my like special memories are woven into here, and also that's probably also why the stitch number is off, because I was focused on other things. So instead I just decided to do the increases right under the neck here a bit differently, and then this is just going to be 4 stitches wider, but that is not an issue. 4 stitches is so little, and a wider neck, no one ever said that was a problem. I'd rather have that than to feel like I'm suffocating, so I'm quite happy with that, really. But yeah, I cast this on during the morning when my friends got here to help me get ready. And then I knit while we took photos. Every time there was a little break, I would grab it and knit a couple of stitches. I knit on it in the car on the way to the church, and that I think was the last time I worked on it that day. I had it with me all of the time, I just didn't have the time, but I did. I got like that much done day off. And then the rest of it is done throughout the rest of the week. But the ribbing is not maybe the most important part. But here is the beginning of my color work. I've just barely been able to add in all of my colors. So the base color and then my four color work colors here. I really wanted to be able to add in all colors. That was my big goal, and to also get it on a bigger needle. I just got it on a 60 centimeter needle after it being on a 40 all the way until now. I am on the first increase. And I've been worried that the contrast wasn't going to be big enough that you wouldn't see, and I think you can see that the contrast between the green and the blue isn't the biggest, but in real life there's not really a big issue in seeing them. You can see the green and the blue, just they are close together, but it's not a big issue, so I'm really happy with them. I think they look really good together, so I'm excited to continue. I just have not had the brain capacity to work on this the last couple of days, but now I'm really excited to get back. So yeah, this is the Celeste sweater by Petiteknit, and I will show the colors that I'm knitting it in. The only color name I remember is for the brown one, and that's Cacao Nibs. And I also remember this, which is Almond. I am 90% sure. And then we have this green one that is 9581. That's the color number at least. And then this blue is 6062, and the light blue is 6324. And they're all Peer Gynt. I splurged a bit on this and got the original yarn, just because if I'm going to use all of this time doing color work, I really want it to be like the original, and I think that will also make for a really nice warm sweater. Sometimes I've had problems with Peer Gynt being really itchy. My Eva cardigan, when I made that, Peer Gynt was really itchy. It would itch through the blanket even, like just scratch me the small fibers from the yarn. But then I made my Ingrid sweater, which is also in Peer Gynt, and that wasn't scratchy or itchy at all. So I don't know if it's the difference from like sheep to sheep, if it's a color difference, if I just got a lot more tolerance in a couple of months. I think my tolerance got better, but I also think there is a bit of difference in how itchy different colors are. So I'm interested in seeing how that plays out with this one, but I imagine for a thicker sweater like this that I'm probably going to layer it up most of the time anyway, so it's not going to be a huge issue. And I've also had great experiences with washing. Everything gets softer when it's washed or washed multiple times, so it's going to be fine no matter what. But this is my Celeste so far. Can't wait till it grows more so I can show you more, because right now there's not much to show. And then lastly, the very last thing I cast on this week is this. I think it's called Amalies Fletteromper, and right now I can't remember the designer. It's a new to me designer, so I'll write her on screen. But when we went into this year, I stated that 2025 is going to be all about baby knits for me, and I started the year really well with loads of baby knits and loads of plans, and then I had to take a break to just finish everything up. But now I'm back because the first couple of babies that are coming really soon now, so I have to get back on track to finish everything I want to do. I have been able to just sit down and actually make a list of everything I want to do, at least, so I know what I'll have to do in the next weeks to make that happen. But this is a romper, a onesie, a suit, something like that. it's one of the most difficult things I've done. I'm getting more into it now, more of a hang of it, but it is double moss stitch in the back, in the middle section in the back and on the sides, and then you have loads of ribbing, but then also you do cables in the ribbing, and you do some small ones, and then you do these big ones, but these big ones you do one on this side and then one on this, and there's a lot to keep track of. I am getting more hang of it now, but I've never wanted to pull my hair out more than when making this. But it's worth it. I think it's going to be cute. I'm making this in the size 6 to 9 months because with all of this work I wanted it to be able to be used a little bit, and I feel like this would be great to pull over something when you're nearing winter again, or like fall, next fall, because it is in Garn double Sunday, so it is quite like thick and warm, so it, even though it is a romper, I wouldn't say it's very suitable for summer. It feels more like a transition piece into fall again, that you layer. So that's why I am making it in 6 to 9 months. And yeah, here it is. I think this is called something Björnebär, something, the color. I don't know really. It's from Garn outlet. This yarn, but here is the romper so far. I think I have 5 maybe more centimeters to go until I'm ready to do the decreases. Decreases for the top, what would you call it, yoke maybe, and then do the straps, and then the edges for the legs, and then it's done, except for all of the weaving in of ends and buttons and everything. So hopefully it will go quick from here, because it was a struggle in the start and everything went really slow, but now I'm not as locked to having to look at the pattern every 3 seconds. I finally figured out how to read it, so hopefully it will speed up a bit now so I can finish it, because I have so many more baby knits on the list and only a month left until I need my baby knit for 2 babies to be done, so wish me luck. But this is the first one, and those are all of my cast-ons and like current projects for this week. My only current projects have been things I cast on this week, except for the sheep. I think picking up at least one of my old whips each week will be a good practice going forwards. I think I have 3 or 4 or 5 old whips. And one of them is that sitting mat that I'm going to felt, that I'm just going to knit on here and there when I have scraps to knit into that are feltable. So that doesn't really count either, even so I don't have that many whips to get to. I just need to actually get to the few that I have. But before we end this and before my voice gives out, I did get some more yarn this week, because my friend, my maid of honor, who came to stay with us with her family, she lives really close to the best yarn store I know about. They have so many great sales all of the time, and right before she came here they had another sale with loads of this Garn Lille Lerke wool. It's 53% merino wool and 47% Egyptian cotton. It's a really nice yarn for anything. It's a really nice yarn if you want to knit anything for babies or summer or anything. It's quite pleasant to work with, even though it has so much cotton in it. But my main idea when I saw this was that I wanted to make more bouquets. I'm really happy with the one I made for myself, and I want to have more just around the house to freshen things up. And I also thought making smaller bouquets in like pinks or blues would be really great as like an extra to a baby shower gift or a baby gift. So I got quite a lot. I also wanted to get this because for my bouquet I had Lerke, so this is like the thinner version of the yarn I had, and that was one of my favorite yarns to work with. Now I'm going to pick up the bag again. So I'm just going to show you all of the colors I got. I think I got 2 of most. I think maybe I got 3 of the white, just because that's such a good basic. So, and all of them are Lille Lerke. So the white one, then I got a quite like lime green one. I think this might be good for leaves. I think this might be good for a like contrasting leaf, maybe some stems. I think it could be cool. Then I got this green. I don't know if this is that great for a bouquet. It looks a bit too bright, too neon, so I don't know, but it would be great for just I could make a stuffed animal with this, maybe a dinosaur, or it would just be great for like summer apparel. I got some of this. This I also think could be a really beautiful flower. I got pink. Haven't tried that for flowers yet, but there are a lot of girls being born. I also got this like reddish pink, and I don't know if there was one more pink color. These 3 I got, which I'm really excited about. I don't think I got any blue because I have so much blue. I still have blues left over from the bouquet as well, so that wasn't really the biggest priority. And then I also got some of this like lighter yellow, which I also think is really pretty. So I'm really excited about all of the possibilities I have here in making bouquets, and I'm really excited to get started. I think that's going to be so much fun, both to have more flowers. I don't have to worry about wilting at home, and then I think it also would be really fun because I know when you get babies you get flowers, people buy flowers and then they just die. I think it would be really sweet to get flowers that you can keep forever from your baby as well. So I'm just thinking maybe like 7 flowers or something, just a small little bouquet. I think that could be fun. So I got yarn for that, which I'm really excited about and need to start on. So I have so many plans I am excited for, and so many projects I'm excited to get back to or continue on. So now I just need to get back to being 100% so I can get back to knitting as much as I want to. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it didn't end up too choppy. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and a comment. That means the absolute world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!